you with?
Yes, Alfred, go ahead.
I'm just asking, what was I to help you? I did not
Thank
hear
you.
well.
Thank you for asking. You were going to do the closing benediction. You were going to do the closing benediction, but because Agnes is not here, is she here? No.
Okay.
I will probably get you to do the open benediction, and I'll ask somebody else to do the closing. Okay? Does that work, Alfred?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome everybody to Froggy Friday in the house. Today is June 23rd, 2023. And we were on the other side of the summer solstice. That was the 21st. Hey, Siku, good to see you, beautiful one. Good to see you. Thanks for giving a shout out. So now the days in this hemisphere are getting shorter again already. Glory days. My name is Reverend Barbara Samuel, and I, along with Reverend Gwen Smith, who sends her deep love to everybody today, is not here with us. We are the co-spiritual leaders of the Center for Spiritual Living Kenya. And we are so proud of our beautiful sacred community. And we welcome you as you come on board into this Zoom room, as we welcome today our special guest speaker, Reverend Verona Garland, all the way from California. Oakland is in the house. Now, Reverend Verona is also coming to our conference. She's coming with her conference, and she's bringing people, friends. She's bringing people. Her daughter, your daughter's coming? And another, yeah. So we are in the presence of some beautiful love today. Today, her talk title is called Upholding Your Truth. Upholding Your Truth. And I cannot wait to get to that beautiful wisdom that she will share with us. So a couple of people are not here who were going to be here. So I'm going to ask Alfred to open us up with treatment. And
Yes,
then we will go into a meditation. And Patrick, do you feel like being spontaneous and leading us in a 5-minute meditation? Is that a possibility, my friend? Yes. Yes, I love it when spirit knocks, when opportunity knocks, our practitioners, our team always says yes. So we will do an opening treatment, and you will go into a 5-minute meditation with Patrick. Out of that, we will head into our service. Go ahead, Alfred. Go ahead.
So let us center ourselves to know this truth. I know that there's one power, there's one energy, one infinite intelligence that I call God. This one power is everywhere, in all things, in all plants. And it's only working for its highest perfection. Right here, right now, I now acknowledge the truth that this one infinite intelligence is with each and every one of us here. I know that as we are going to start this meeting, we're guided by the spirit that is within, and all that we are going to be we know. We are open to this truth that is going to be given by Reverend Fellow. I know that each and every one of us, we are seeing light, and we are seeing a greater possibilities of who we are. We are the open truth. I am so grateful for this time. I'm so grateful for whatever that's going to be spoken. I leave this word trusting and believing that it's already done in the mind of the one. As I say, and so it is.
So it is. So we settle down, we settle deeper, feeling more relaxed as we do a short meditation. And we take a deep breath in and out, feeling more relaxed. You feel more relaxed as we take another deep breath and out. As we breathe in our own rhythm, we breathe in peace, we breathe in love, we breathe out all negativities, all stress of the day, and breathe in peace and love. We relax further. All the parts of our body are relaxed as we center ourselves in the middle of our hearts. As you breathe in, you breathe love into your heart. You breathe peace into your heart. And as you do, you feel that peace, that love expanding from its core. That peace, that love expands from your heart to every part of your body, every part of your room, wherever you are, every part of the city where you are. This peace, this love expands from where you are to around the globe. You can feel the love, you can feel the peace traveling into the universe. And for the next few minutes, you feel your love, your peace, meeting every creature, every person in the universe. You'll continue feeling this as we settle further for the next 5 minutes, for the next few minutes. Then we'll get back here. I'll call you back to the meeting.
Patrick, you are muted as you speak to us, my friend.
Your love, your peace flows back from the universe, from the planets, from wherever it has gone, wherever you had sent it. It flows back from the planets, from the continents, to your city, your house, where you are. The peace that you sent out is back with you. It's always with you in your heart. It will always be there, waiting to be shared. Take another deep breath. Start feeling back. Start feeling your body. Start feeling the chair you are sitting on. And gradually, you're back to your body. You're back to the meeting. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Take a breath. And as we come out of this beautiful sacred moment, as we breathe together, now it is time for us to sing together. As we welcome this beautiful day, as we welcome this beautiful life that we share together, we are one people. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. We are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. Sing it out. We are one people, one strong heartbeat, just one spirit shining bright within us all. Well, we are a part of one another. We're born to love each other. When it's all said and done, we are one. When it's all said and done, let me see those spirit fingers. We are one. Yeah, we are one. Thank you for stepping up, Patrick. And thank you all for being here on this beautiful Friday morning, evening. Wherever you are, I know Spirit has tagged you and you are divinely appointed and anointed to this space and time. We welcome you. And as we welcome you, it is my joy, my honor, my pleasure to introduce and invite back and remind you of this powerful, powerful woman, Reverend Verona Garland, who has opened up her heart to share with our community, our spiritual community. So I want to see the love. I want to see the energy because I want to hear it. Let's just unplug and everybody just say, yeah, unplug. It's all you, Rev. Take it away.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. I feel it. I feel bombarded with the energy of the love, and I'm sending it back to everyone. I'm so happy to be here today. And as Reverend Barbara said, I'm so excited that I'll actually get to hug each one of you in February. I mean, it's just thrilling, thrilling, thrilling to me. And yes, my daughter is coming along, and one of my dear friends is coming along. So I'm very happy. And my dear friend Jerry De La Rosa is coming along, of course. So I'm just happy to be here. So happy. Thank you for that wonderful song, because we really are one. Sometimes we might allow ourselves to believe that we're not because of what we can see with our human eyes, but the divine eyes within us knows that we are really, truly one. That is all we are. We are one presence, one power, one essence in myriad and multitudinous ways, showing up as spirit. So for today, what showed up for me when Reverend Gwen and Reverend Barb got in touch with me is Upholding Your Truth. That's the title that showed up for me. And basically, I just close my eyes and say, Spirit, what is mine to share? And that's what showed up for today. So in upholding our truth, it's one of those things that you might think about, like, how is my fortitude defined? Or when can I withstand the robustness of life? You know, and in what ways do the solutions appear for the possibilities of life, for the things that show up in our lives? Okay, because we get to have a life with challenges. Yay! Spirit gives us challenges, because the challenges are our learnings, our expansion, and so much more. So as I usually do, I want to start us out with a joke, because for me, sometimes I get a little serious about my enlightenment. Sometimes I can get very like, yeah, I do. Sometimes I can get like, okay, I'm doing my spiritual practices. Okay, I'm journaling, I'm praying, I am, contemplating, I am reading, I am taking classes. Okay, I'm focused on this. And then I realize that there is that little part of spirit that comes inkling in, or comes kind of trickling in, that says, and what about the joy? What about the glee? What about the craziness? What about the silliness? What about the purity of the loving givingness of the divine? So I want to start us off with a joke. So there was a politician who was required to go to court. And this politician, let's just say she was required to go to court, her lawyer said, now listen, when you get to court, if anyone asks you any questions that you don't understand, anything that's not really clear to you, do you know you have it is your right to say, I plead the fifth, which is I plead the Fifth Amendment, which means I'm pleading something that gives me an opportunity to not answer. So the politician says, okay, good, fine. So she gets there, she gets on the stand, and the bailiff says to her, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? She kind of looks around and she says, I plead the fifth. Because yeah, it's just one of those things. Yeah. So so anyway, that gets us going and get the smiles on our faces, which are always there. So one of the things about upholding our truth is we get to stand in our strengths. And we're all filled to overflowing with all sorts of strengths, because we are all filled to overflowing with the strength of the divine. There is no limit to it. There is no beginning and end to it, but we all get to stand in our strengths. And when I speak of standing in our strengths, it's a little bit different take on that, because you may be thinking of the physicality of it. However, what I mean by standing in our strength is, where are you in strength? Where do you rank in the strength that is yours? What is your status in the strength that is available for you? And so it's a little different way to look at it. And as we look at it that way, it's also an opportunity to be gentle with ourselves, to be the gentility, the love, the kindness, the tenderness that Spirit has for and as each one of us. And for standing in strength, a Bible verse showed up for me. And the standing in strength is, as a man is, so is his strength. So as we are, so is our strength. And I want to amend that. That's from the book of Judges, chapter 8, verse 21. However, I personally would like to amend that, since this is 2023. So as a woman, a man, a they, as they stand, so is our strength. So what I'm thinking about, upholding our truths. Okay, so when we uphold our truths, we have a status in our strength. So for me, I thought, so what is truth? Let's talk about really what we call truth to be. Okay, we may have a lot of definitions. So truth can show up as accuracy, Truth can show up as actuality, and truth can show up as conformity with a fact or reality. That's what and these are dictionary. Okay, this is not just out of me. It's out of someone else. So anyway, and part of this conformity with fact or reality, that one is the one that perked me up, because what is reality? We do know that the reality of the divine is formless, and it's changeless, and it's endless, and it's immortal. However, what is reality in our world? Sometimes what I see with my eyes may appear to be reality, but it's really not the reality of the divine. So we might understand and know that if we are being in truth, that this conformity with reality, we get an opportunity to decide, what is my reality? Which is, I know, a concept that may be controversial. However, it's the truth. It's the truth of the spirit within and as each one of us. Because whatever is my reality, whatever I believe to be my truth, is what shows up in my life. You know, like I was thinking about it today. In fact, this morning when I was in my shower, I was thinking about seeing you, Reverend Barb. And I was thinking, you know what, when Reverend Barb and Reverend Gwen and I and all of us, CSLKenya, see each other, then we get to really see not just ourselves in the Zoom boxes, but really see each other. And I was thinking, you know, in the reality of things, maybe I look short in the Zoom box. And in real life, maybe it'll show it when I show up in real life, it'll be like, oh, she's not short at all. She's relatively tall, you know? So it's one of those then that's just an example of what is the reality. And it's part of the example of the reality of our life in the in this century. Okay, so our reality can be something very, very different than what is really the truth of the divine. Okay, and for our own truth, really our own truth, where the foundation of it is in what we feel, in how we feel, what is real for each one of us, what is our principles, our beliefs, and our values. That's where our truth shows up from. Okay, so, and the thing to remember is when we're talking about our truths and how they show up, whatever you are feeling is a healing taking place. Whatever you are feeling is a healing taking place. It is a spiritual evolution taking place within and as each one of us. Because, you know, each one of us, we're the ones. We are the ones. Just like when we're thinking, oh, gee, I wonder who's the one who's going to teach me all of my spirituality? You are. The person who you see in the morning, you are. You, the person you see in the mirror, it's you. Each one of us is the one, as they say, that we've been waiting for. So whenever there's a feeling, it's really a healing taking place. So now I'd like to know, like for me, I decided, so what does upholding my truth require? For me to uphold my truth, for us to uphold our truth, what is required of us? So several things. One of the things is fortitude. And by fortitude, I mean, we might be in a stopping and starting, but stopping and starting and keep going. Okay, and I know that's probably not, that's not the grammar that we'd like, but that's partly, it takes fortitude, and it takes mental and spiritual strength. It takes boldness. We get to be bold about upholding our truth. You know, we get to be the ones who speak up and speak out. And also we get to have resilience. We get to be resilient in all of this. We get to be in the fluidity and flexibility of the divine, of spirit itself. So now we know what does it take to what's required of us to uphold our truth. And the next thing that came for me is, what does upholding my truth generate? Basically, what do I get from it? So several of the things we get from upholding our truth, but the main thing is we get freedom. Freedom to be, freedom to be, freedom to be. And I'm saying it over and over because it's not freedom to do, it's just the freedom to be who and whose we are. It's the freedom absolutely to be absolutely in our authenticity. It's the freedom to be the power of the divine. Yeah, it's such freedom. And also it is an opportunity to be the transparency of spirit. yeah, we get to be all of these things. And in the being of all of these things, you know, we're all the illumination of the divine. We're all the radiance of the divine. I love knowing that, and knowing that wherever each one of us is, God is, Spirit is, all the other names we might use for it. So we get to be that. We get to be all those things and so much more. So I'd like to share a story with you. And this story is an old story that I've known about, and I don't know the author, however, it's a story. So there was an emperor, and this emperor, for whatever reason, had no heirs. And so the emperor needed some heirs. The emperor was aging. The emperor was getting ready to give up the seat of being the emperor. And so the emperor calls all the boys, all the boys in his kingdom, and gives them on, says, I need an heir. So he gives them all a pot, and he gives, with this pot, he gives them all 3 seeds, excuse me, he gives them all 3 seeds, okay. And he tells them, go home, come back in a year, and whoever has grown the most glorious plant from the 3 seeds will get to be the new emperor. So they all go home, the year goes by, it's time to come back, and there is one boy, and he doesn't want to come back because his pot hasn't grown anything. He has tended it, he has watered it, he has fertilized it, but it appears his pot hasn't grown anything. And so, but however, his mother encourages him, just go and be your truth. Go and be who you are. Okay, so he comes back after a year, and all the boys in the kingdom are all lined up, and probably thousands, and maybe gazillion of them, I don't know. All the boys are all lined up, and all these gorgeous, flourishing plants are. There's pots filled with all sorts of plants, all heights, all colors, all shapes. So many of them have the flowers and this, that, and the other. And this boy, when he brings his seems to have nothing. So the emperor comes out, walks around amongst all the boys, and then finally he comes to this boy and says, you are the next emperor. And this boy cannot understand what it is. And finally, what the now emperor tells them is that I gave you all 3 boiled seeds, and they were not going to grow. However, the emperor wanted someone to bring back the person to be the new emperor, to bring back someone who could stand in their truth, to know the truth of who and what they were. And so this boy, that's what he did. He was courageous enough to follow the steps, however, and to be in his truth, and to know that this is what showed up. And he became the new emperor. Now, the way that this unfolds for me is what this boy used was he was in a place of awareness. He was also discerning, and he had trust. Now, you're probably thinking, exactly what does that mean, Reverend Verona? For one thing, he was aware that he knew what to do to grow a plant. And in its place of awareness, he was present in that. This is about being present, about living in the now. He did all the things that it took, that he knew how to do, that we all know how to do, to grow a plant. So he stood fast in the awareness that what he was being was the truth of who and what he is. Secondly, he was discerning. And in the discernment, I must say that he was discerning in the knowingness that if I be what I am to be, which is someone who just stands in truth, then something is happening. And sometimes in life, how it looks like we are part of the gestation process, and it looks like nothing is happening. And before we know it, something actually is happening. It is just not happening in the way that we have decided that it's happening. Like we often say, we humans make plans and God chuckles, because we sometimes plant our own seeds, and we have an idea of what is happening from the planting of those seeds. And Spirit has so much more, so much gloriousness, so much magnificence, so much more than what we possibly can even ever imagine in our humanness. So I use this young man as an example because these are the steps that we get to use as we are upholding our truths. We get to use these steps: awareness, discernment, and trust. And the ways that is available to us to use these is first awareness. When we're upholding our truths, we get to be present. And by saying we get to be present, I might add, the present moment is what we have. No past, no future. Ours is to remain in the present, living in the now. And as we live in the now, we get to accept the immanence that we are, which is the world of matter, However, we also are accepting the transcendence that we are, which is the non-material self, our non-material self that knows and witnesses and accepts and understands and radiates and illuminates and so much more. So the first part is being in a place of awareness. The second part is discernment. We get to recognize the truth. We get to be in a place of clarity, because once we have clarity, transformation happens. And what I was talking about up at the top, the reality check, we get to be in the place of really having a reality check of this truth of mine, it's spirit. And no matter what else is going on all around me, it is still upholding the truth that I am. No matter all the other craziness that's going on around me. And what comes to mind when I say this is the news. When we turn on the television, or we don't even have to turn on the TV anymore. When we open up our computer, when we open up our phone, when we open up anything, there's the news. However, does the news really have anything to do with the reality of the divine? It may not. I mean, yes, we do possibly get factual entertainment, but usually it is, and from my perspective, it is what the editor or the producer of that show has decided is most important for us to know. And it may not include the entire truth. And I'm not being judgmental about it. I'm just saying that this is a fact. So we get to realize that maybe what we're being told, what we're seeing is not the real truth. Like we see all around the planet, or we're told all around the planet that there's turmoil and there is catastrophes and there is this and there is that. However, all of us know, just like, thank you for the wonderful centering, Patrick, in the meditation, we all know that this is a place of peace, that this is a space of love, that this is a planet, a galaxy, a cosmos of harmony and of oneness. So that's what I mean about being discerning. And the final thing, of course, is trust. We get to trust. We get to trust because trust is faith personified. Trust is our heart knowing. Trust is the infinitude of the possibilities within and as us. And as Neville Goddard says, trust is loyalty to unseen reality. Yeah, I just love that. Every time I say it or feel it, it is, we get to be in a place of trust. So these are the 3 steps: awareness, discernment, and trust. And I'd like to share with you a little bit of how it's showing up in my life, because you might be saying, okay, we like this, Reverend Verona. Yeah, you're really giving it to us. However, is it working in your life? And I had several examples. However, the example that came to me just today, I have 2 adult children and I love them dearly. And they both are traveling today. And I live in Northern California. One of them is going to New York today, Lake City, Utah today. In one of my past lives, I worked for an airline, and so I get benefits, and so they get benefits. Okay, so they're both traveling, and they both phoned me early this morning in dramatic, shall we say, in dramatic overload. Yeah. So in the dramatic overload that they were in this morning, the first thing that I got to do is, okay, because they were both agitated about their travel. And so I got to know, first and foremost, let's just be in the truth of it all. I even said it out loud to myself, Verona, let's be in the truth of it all. So the first thing was, I realized, just be in the present moment. 5:30 in the morning, both of my children are calling me. Just be in the present moment. Let's just be in the present moment. And for me, give thanks for the present moment. Just understanding the immanence that I am, the world of the matter, but transcendence that I am and that they are. Okay, so that was the first thing. The second thing was a recognition of the truth. What each one was telling me, what each one was bringing to me was not the truth of who and what they are. They were both, shall we say, tittering on about, oh, I'm on my flight. However, it really wasn't the truth of what each one of them is, because the truth of each one of them is what the truth of each one of them is, and myself too, is that we are avenues and we are vessels of the abundance of the divine. So whatever showed up, whatever challenge appeared to be going on with them going on their flights today, both of them, that the divinity within and through and as each of us is in the flow, is in divine right and perfect order. And so it's happening. It's already happening. It's already happening in the heart and mind of the divine. And the third thing was trust. I got to trust that whatever it was I said to them this morning was the word of spirit. I got to trust that faith, the faith that I am, the faith that they are, the faith that all of us are, is personified within and through and as them. And so that it all unfolds in a divine right and perfect way. And yes, they're both already on their airplanes. Yes, they have both got all the things they were concerned about their flying, about their bags, and it's already taken care of. And each one of them, of course, did send me a text and say, "Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Mama. It's all in divine right and perfect order. It's all happening." So that was, I mean, and I didn't know what example I was going to use today. However, that's my example of upholding the truth, upholding my truth and standing in the strength and knowing that wherever I am in the strength is exactly who I am, what I am, and that I am spirit's representation here on the planet. So I want to close up by just letting you know that there is something wonderfully, wonderfully bold and liberating about saying yes to our messy, outrageous, and persistent loving unfoldment of the divine in and as each one of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All is well. So it is.
Thank you, Reverend Verona. There was so much good in this talk, and I needed to hear it today. Thank you. I'm just so grateful. Whatever is taking place is a healing happening. I love that so powerful. And whenever there's a feeling, there's a healing taking place right behind it. Upholding our truth. Oh my gosh. Thank you for sharing your wisdom today. I want to open up the floor to anybody who has questions of Reverend Verona, a brief sharing that she can support you and answer. Tendai says, thank you, Reverend Verona.
Yes, I have a question.
Do it, Patrick, the old
Yes.
wise.
Thank you very much for the beautiful delivery. And I also like the fact that you say what you're feeling is what is healing. Mm-hmm. And I kind of resonate with that, because whenever I have that pain, I know I'm getting healed. But then I wonder, feeling can also be positive. So when I'm happy, when I'm excited, is that a healing also happening? That's a question.
Well, that's a great question. I'm glad you asked that, because we sometimes we might tend to think a healing is only associated with something that is a wound, or is something that is uncomfortable, or something that is unbearable, whereas healing is everything, like the joyousness is healing, because as our healing moves along, we're healing to greater and greater, higher and higher levels of the divine that we are. And that is not to say that we are not already whole, perfect, and complete. However, yes, when we feel anything, it's a healing, and the healing can be something that's spectacular and wonderful and joyous and what's the other word? Magnificent. That is all the presence of the divine. Yeah, because the healing also, I love that you asked this, Patrick, and thank you, Spirit. The healing can also be our springboard to the next part of us. Yeah. The healing can be bringing us to a place and space that we have not been before and could not even envision until that time, until that moment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Thank you, Patrick. Anybody else? Well, there's a couple of things that I want to let you know as you're percolating, and if you have a question, just let us know. If you're looking for your spiritual mind treatment, your 2-minute miracle, your blessing, you can put up your hand and Michelle will set you into a room at the end of the service. Not now. We still have our benediction and our offertory affirmations. And I just also want everybody, there's a couple of things that I want everybody to know. I want to direct you to our Facebook page. CSLKenya.org is our web page, but CSL Kenya is our Facebook page. I posted a couple of weeks ago a love note to Reverend Connie, and I think Reverend Gwen posted as well on Sunday. I will be writing another one on Sunday, and then we will write a final one the following Sunday. Reverend Connie passed away on June 30th, 3 years ago now. 3 years ago. And we want to celebrate that and all that we've become and all that we are as a result of her light, her joy that she brings, her power, her courage, her freedom to be, not freedom to do, her freedom to be the power of the divine, like Reverend Verona said today. I just love that. So I want to direct you there and share all of the posts that we're posting. There's invitations to our conference. There's highlighted quotes and things like that. Thank you, Philip. Oh, Philip, bless you. Philip has just shared this. He is our guide in all of this, along with Michelle. So I'm so grateful. So I want to encourage you to do that. I also want to encourage you to hold the high watch for our practitioners as they're preparing for their final evaluations and their orals and their licensing. It's happening. More practitioners, more ministers, more growth, more love, more joy. All that Reverend Verona said is what we're creating right here in our very own community, our spiritual community. I'm so proud of us. I'm so grateful for all of that. And just prepare, start preparing. If you're in Kenya, start preparing for us to arrive here in North America. And if you're in North America and beyond, I booked my flights with my husband this week. I know Reverend Melody booked her flights. Start checking out there. I had a little reminder that said, hey, book your flight soon. If you have not registered and sent in all your documentation to CSL Kenya, I will respond to you. Please do so. I need to make my list. And having said all of that, we're going to do our love offering affirmations together. Most of you know, and if you don't know, I'll tell you, our center is run off completely by your love offerings and donations. And I want to acknowledge Reverend Verona today said, if CSL Kenya is paying me, please pay it back forward to CSL Kenya and put it back into that love offering. So she has turned it right back around into us, into you. So you can reach Nancy if you're paying via M-Pesa. You can send it via cslkenya.org, and there's a donate and a payment plan there for you. I will receive it, Reverend Gwen, and I will receive it, send you a love note. And we are so grateful for all your offerings. So having said all of that, if you will unmute, I will repeat the first line and you will echo it. And then I will repeat the second line and you will echo it. And I will invite you just to put your hand on your heart to feel the energy of this abundance that is ours to share and circulate. Unmute, 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 friends. Unmute, unmute, unmute. Tendai, Pat, Jerry, unmute, unmute, unmute. I am filled with the energy of abundance.
I am filled with
I am willing to share my financial good with my spiritual community.
I am willing to share my financial good
with my spiritual community.
Yes, we are. And I cannot thank Reverend Verona enough for coming to share her love and her light. I want to give a special acknowledgement to each and every one of you. We have practitioners, we have students, we have people here to share their love, we have teachers. It takes a lot out of your day to be courageous enough to say, I'm going to give this hour to myself. That's what you did. And by giving it to yourself, you've given it to your spiritual community, and you've given it to me, and I am filled up. What we give is what we get. What we get is what we give. And so keep that circulation flowing of love, energy, prosperity, connection, and community. A benediction. So Kareth, and she came late. And it was supposed to be Paul. I'm asking, dear Kareth, for you to take the lead like Patrick did. Say yes and do a brief benediction for us. Kareth is listening but cannot participate. I understand. Is there somebody who is one of
Okay.
our team? Oh, there you are. Thank you, Kareth.
Okay, sorry.
So grateful.
Okay, join me. In recognition that spirit that is forever creating and recreating and giving freely of its divine self. And in each moment, I am one such perfect manifestation of God, as is everyone here, our whole entire CSL community and all life. And as we leave this session, I affirm the love and wisdom of spirit in each and every one of us, with hearts that are opened and brave. We step into the truth of who we are, spirit in form, knowing that we always choose that which is for our highest good, for our greatest good. And we are ever grateful for the gifts and blessings that we are always immersed in. And with a grateful heart, I release my word into law, into the creative action of spirit that always says yes. I let go and let God. And so it is.
So it is.
And so it is.
Reverend Verona, you started with a joke. I'll end with a true life story. We are so grateful that you are coming to Kenya and that we will see you. And when you see me in person, I don't know why, but in person makes me so much heavier than I actually am.
I'm with you, sister.
Patrick knows. Patrick's like, who am I having here? I love us. If you're looking for a spiritual mind treatment, put your hand up in the air. Practitioners, please stay. Please stay, practitioners. Tendai's hand is up, Michelle.
Okay.
Practitioners,
Me
stay in the
too.
house. Use
And
you.
practitioner students.
So
Okay.
I need a treatment, please.
Alfred needs a treatment. I hear you, Alfred. Lady
Okay.
T has raised her hand. We've got 3.
So Tendai's going in with Kareth in room 1. And Alfred